Bullying and harassment isn't just something you may experience in the schoolyard when you're a child. It can occur in all aspects and stages in life, even well into adulthood, and unfortunately can happen quite frequently in the workplace. In this video, we will focus on when you are being harassed at work. What is workplace harassment? Workplace harassment can happen to anyone in any type of workplace, from offices to shops, cafes, restaurants, workshops, community groups, and government organizations. It can manifest through verbal, physical, social, or psychological abuse by a colleague or group of colleagues, and even your employer or manager. It's important to know that some types of workplace harassment are criminal offenses, and if you experience violence, assault, or stalking, you can report it directly to the police. What does harassment in the workplace look like? As we mentioned earlier, bullying can take different forms through verbal, physical, social, or psychological abuse. Verbal harassment occurs when you experience repeated hurtful remarks or attacks. Someone might be making fun of your work or even saying something about you as a person. These remarks may attack aspects of your individuality, such as your sex, gender identity, sexuality, race, family, culture, education, or economic background, and you may even experience sexual harassment through sexually explicit comments and requests that make you uncomfortable. Physical bullying and harassment include acts such as pushing, shoving, tripping, and grabbing you in the workplace. Unwelcome touching in particular can be considered another form of sexual harassment. Another example of physical harassment and higher in severity is when you are attacked or threatened with equipment, knives, guns, clubs, or any other type of object that can be turned into a weapon. Violence and assault should never happen in the workplace, and if you experience these actions, you can report them to the police. Social harassment is when you are excluded from taking part in activities and when you are stopped from working with people, especially when it relates to your work and performing your job requirements. Initiations or hazing also fall under the social category and happens when you are made to do humiliating or inappropriate things in order to be accepted as part of the team. Psychological abuse is often more elusive and harder to identify. You may experience people playing mind games with you and ganging up on you. Co-workers and more often managers will use intimidation to make you feel less important and undervalued. You may be given pointless tasks that have nothing to do with your job. Or, on the other side of the spectrum, you may be given impossible jobs that can't be done in the given time or with the resources provided. Other examples of psychological bullying include when your schedule or work hours are deliberately changed to make things more difficult for you, or deliberately holding back information you need for getting your work done properly. How bullying can affect your work. Getting bullied at work will make you want to stay away from the workplace and the people in it. You will feel like you can't trust your employer and colleagues. Your success at work will be impeded because feeling scared, stressed, anxious, or depressed can lead to physical symptoms like headaches, backaches, and sleep problems. You will start to lack confidence and happiness about yourself and your work. Bullying and harassment can even lead to your life outside of your job being affected, impacting things like study commitments and your relationships. What is not workplace bullying? It is important to remember that at times your employer might transfer, demote, discipline, counsel, retrench, or fire you or other employees. This is allowed as long as they are acting reasonably. These practices in the workplace are an essential part of running a successful business. They may not seem fair, but they are not bullying. What you need to know if you are being harassed at work. You have the right to work in an environment that is free from bullying, harassment, and violence, so it's important to know there are people who can help and things you can do. If you are in a situation where you are being targeted by co-workers or a manager, check to see if the company has a bullying policy and complaints procedure. Employers have a responsibility to provide a safe workplace, and if they allow discrimination, they are not meeting their duty of care for your health and well-being at work. If you've taken steps to try and stop the harassment, make a diary and keep detailed notes of everything that happens, everything you've done, and everyone you've spoken to. This can help if you need to make a complaint. Seek out someone you trust for support, or if you don't know anyone, see if there are any support services available from your workplace. This can even include contacting your union. You can approach your bully directly if you feel safe and confident. If you're not sure how to approach them, you might be able to get advice from an appointed contact person or from a colleague or manager. Approach the person who is targeting you and tell them how you feel. Let them know that their behavior towards you is unwanted and not acceptable. If the situation continues, tell someone at your work. Usually, an organization will have a process for making complaints and resolving disputes. The process may include a warning, requiring the bully to have counseling, a mediation process, or even firing the bully if the situation continues. Your company will usually require you to contact your manager or supervisor first, but if that's not possible, alternatives may include speaking to HR, a health and safety representative, or a harassment contact officer. If there isn't anyone you can safely talk to at work, or if the bullying is serious and the situation hasn't changed after speaking to your manager and following the proper channels, then you may have to look for outside information and advice. Your options may include contacting human rights commissions, unions, legal counsel, government institutions for fair work, safety authorities, and finally, if bullying is violent or threatening, it may be a criminal offense and you should contact the police. Hopefully, the information in this video will help you if you are being harassed at work. Remember to take time for yourself and make sure you are healthy. Psychologically, it is important to find ways to feel good about yourself. You can do this by staying physically active, eating healthy, and having time for yourself. We all have a moral responsibility to help create a positive, safe workplace. If someone in your workplace is experiencing harassment or bullying, you can tell them about the steps they can take to solve it. If you found this video informative, please consider leaving a like to support the channel. Thank you for watching.